the matchup right now that we're in. Sort of a little bit of a renaissance. Oh my god, we're at Yoshi's again. They know something I don't. Unless like
they're here for a show.
Right? There's got to be something that we're missing because it just doesn't seem to make sense to me. And yet, I mean, if you really rely on like edge guarding, you could make the argument that you get edge guards more quickly because you knock them off stage and there goes the edge guard. But I just see this as like Puff dies earlier, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, Puff dies earlier, but with all of the neutral wins in the world right now, this is kind of already drumming to a different beat. Not that different, though, because Bbatts just finds these crazy forward air kills at, like, 70.
That doesn't kill on Dreamland, man. I'm telling you right now,
the stage.
Kill. So, help me understand, man. Yeah, the back air killed at 140. Well, that was great, but I just want to understand. But, you know, back to neutral for the most part. Reach the roll.
There's the forward roll I was talking about, and Bbatts just completely ready for it that time. Doesn't really amount to too much overall, but oh my god.
So I think the main thing that I'm going to be looking out for is, besides the random up smashes that we saw that were just beautiful callouts for most of their first set, is does Bbatts play a more grounded style, or does he go for this more kind of aggressive forward airs and nairs that we saw in the first set? And so far it seems like the answer is absolutely for the forward airs.
Yeah, 2 for 2 on the kills for this one. Oh my gosh, so quick off the platforms right now, but Dawson's just finding this percent. Trying to claw his way back into this game. You know, again, really, it's the same as what we said in the winner side set. A lot of air-to-air battles right now, and it just seems like Bbatts is just finding so much damage.
Yeah, this is a lot of damage, and you know, stray hits can set up, like, you know, Peach can kind of do some edge guarding on her own, not as aggressively as Puff. I do like that running cross up back air from Dawson, always using kind of really creative neutral openings, but Bbatts seems to kind of, again, like force the openings. He's pushing that puzzle piece in, to use the analogy, as I said before, makes openings where there aren't any.
Yeah, case in point, 3 stocks to 1 right now. Dawson needs to find a big aerial hit in order to probably take this stock. Up air, back air. What's it gonna be? Forward air? Okay, not quite.
I think the funny thing about this set is it feels like on paper, Dawson is having a problem dealing with Peach living too long. So Dawson goes, I'll solve that problem by going to Yoshi's. And then Bbatts says, I'm going to live to 145 every stock anyway. And I want to understand how this is happening, but somehow Bbatts is just making it work. It's very, very cool, and it's a very different style than what we're used to.
Sure. Yeah, down throw. What's going to be the follow? Reads the DI correctly, finds the stock either way. You know, I was saying it looked like a similar beat to how their winner side set went, and you know, game 1 a bit similar.
Yeah. I don't like the stage pick. You know, it just doesn't seem like, I think I'm trying to get in Dawson's head, you know, shoving myself into that kind of pink Puff brain and going like, what is he thinking? I've given my theory already. Oh, that's going to be a rest. And no even punish with the star KO. But yeah, like, it just doesn't seem to be working. But 9% and a full stock lead is a fat advantage, so let's see what he does.
The start of the game too, with handicap mode on, more or less. And oh my gosh,
so that is a setup. If you do a down smash above someone on the platform, Puff can't rest the end lag, which there is quite a bit of.
Yeah.
But it isn't something you see very often because, you know, a more experienced player isn't going for the down smashes. So Dawson kind of, again, finding a small opening that most people wouldn't see.
Yeah, and this is a massive lead right now. Bbatts needs to kind of win neutral for the next, like, 3 minutes to get to even this one up.
Yeah, these are the kind of sets that I think make it difficult to, like, play floaties, particularly a character like Peach, because at least Puff has, like, the rest option there. Really good up air to finish the stock, but you know, this is like where the mentality really matters. You know, you think like, I can still win this. I can still win neutral like 70% of the time to their 30% and somehow claw it back, because like that's really tough. I don't know, you know, you as a Mario player probably used to some more scrappy floaty games.
Yeah.
What do you feel about that? Like,
it's a hard fought battle, man. Yeah, it comes. I think what's interesting from Bbatts' position is he seems to find these massive punishes on Puff. And I've said this before in a video on LOD, where it's kind of like a punish of 30 to 40% in this matchup is absolutely bonkers. But we have, like, over the span of these two sets, we've seen Bbatts get 50, 60% punishes, which is essentially an entire stock in this matchup. So it's like, you know, you're not out of the woods yet. Like, you're definitely behind, but Bbatts has already shown the ability to kind of put these insane strings together that can just lead to whole stocks. Not exactly 0 to deaths, but pretty damn close.
Yeah, it really comes back to this ability to be able to kind of force openings where you shouldn't get them, like using kind of the pressure and the kind of frame advantage of a character like Peach. Beautiful up air, by the way.
Yeah, subfloat up air too. That's so important there.
It's like, you know, he's got like armor piercing rounds or something, you know, like Dawson's sitting there in a tiny pink bulletproof vest, and Bbatts is just coming at him being like, I do not care about your defense at all, and I'm just going to find a way to make it work and get 60% from it. So love to see it.
Yeah, I was saying earlier, Bbatts kind of needed to just win neutral for the next couple minutes in order to even this game up, and he kind of did it. You know, loses the stock right there, but goes from a 1 stock deficit from having basically a full 2 stock deficit at the start of the set. He's kind of clawing his way back right now. Dawson needs to close this one out quickly.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Was looking for the rest there again. Did the full hop, kind of drifting in. Realizes he doesn't have enough time. But this is tricky. You know, he doesn't have a lot of shield, so he's got to be careful about these back airs that he's kind of forcing his way into. And, you know, when Bbatts' style works, it looks awesome. When it doesn't work, it just looks like someone is just kind of forcing it hard. And that's, I think, what we're seeing a bit right now, you know? Like, just he cannot seem to get an opening.
Sure, yeah, I think the two trends that I've been seeing so far in the sets that we've been able to watch, and we've been talking about Bbatts right now because he's kind of in the driver's seat in terms of being able to make this comeback. But, you know, to Dawson's credit, he's playing this game too incredibly right now. You know, 2 huge punishes. With the rest, an entire game win right there. Really just overall solid neutral plan. But I think when it comes to Bbatts' you know, habits so far, what I've been noticing are, it seems like the 2 kind of lines that he's been taking, at least so far, have been kind of aerial into instant shield or aerial into rising aerial right away. And it's kind of one or the other. And if he's playing really fast, it's aerial to aerial. And if he's kind of like slowing down, figuring out what Dawson wants to do to counterattack, it's aerial shield, and then it's kind of what's the mix-up after that. So probably short hop nair out of shield, subfloat into some type of aerial. I'm wondering if there's going to be a mix-up in that decision tree, or if Dawson begins to catch on to that.
Yeah, I love the analysis there. I think that's kind of the right way to look at it, and I think, like, the thing that I'm also seeing is sort of what we saw in the first set, which is this, like, it feels like Dawson wants to play aggressive, but Bbatts is more aggressive than Dawson. So Dawson starts the game going, no, I can out aggro him. It doesn't work, and then he goes for this, like, back air kind of defense plan, which is probably, like, you know, the ideal way to play the matchup. And then that's where that kind of defensive, well, dealing with that mix-up of Bbatts kind of comes in. And I think so far the way he's been dealing with it is just positioning outside of the kind of areas where you'd interact, you know? He's doing these drifting back airs so that Bbatts doesn't get a chance to kind of play that mix-up, to kind of force an interaction, because retreating back air is the name of the game. And looking for an up air, probably. Ooh, forward air.
Oh, wow, just spaces out the down smash, waits in, finds the grab. Maybe could have found a bigger punish, especially with Peach at around 140 before that grab, but either way, big percent advantage in favor of Dawson. And Bbatts is going to kind of force his way in yet again. Almost kills off the top with that forward air. Oh, okay.
Parasol. That could kill. Very close. You know, this is the funny thing, right? So again, he seems to struggle to kill. I think he's confident in his back air spacing, but, you know, like, Bbatts kind of making miracles out of certain openings, finding ways to get damage and putting on the pressure. Like, Dawson is just running out of space right now. You can't keep back airing further and further and further into the corner. Eventually, you do run out of space, and you lose your stock as a result of that.
Yeah, you know, I feel like there's almost two schools of thought when you play, because Bbatts is playing really, really fast. Don't get me wrong. When you play against a fast player like this, I feel like there's a couple mental states that you might have. One is, okay, the way I beat him, and this is kind of alluding to what you said earlier in terms of I can out aggro you. The way I win is by playing faster than you and just out decisioning you. And then the other way is saying the way I win is by stopping your momentum. I'm kind of thinking, you know, we were saying earlier, Dawson's maybe leaning more into the aggressive strat right now. And I wonder if maybe he needs to just kind of slow things down, because it seems like he makes really good decisions when the two of them are just kind of playing neutral. He walls out really well. Bbatts kind of runs into a bunch of stuff and can't find his way in. But then when things kind of get really aggressive, it gets really, really scrappy. And Bbatts has been kind of finding the advantage in a lot of those situations.
And that's why I think that, like, it's a playstyles thing versus like a matchup thing. Because when we watched Dawson versus Den, Dawson had these like scrappy tech reads, these hard F smash reads, like stuff that, you know, he'd quickly use like a nair or something to get out of a situation. It felt like he is a Puff that wants to play aggressively, and we know Bbatts wants to play aggressively, so he tries to kind of make that work, and then it just doesn't seem to, so he falls back on this kind of playing the matchup, which is spacing back airs and, you know, doing exactly what you say, because I think that is the right way to play it against a Bbatts, is slow him down. Like, don't try to, every time he tries to fight for that tempo and try to kind of outspeed him, but Puff is a slow character. Like, that's not really something you can do. So I think this is the right approach.
Only one jump.
Yeah, really running out there.
Yeah, the very rare situations where you say Puff no jump in casting, I think, but we got close.
Back to center stage, and does manage to clip him with the I was about to say, is this a stitch, or is he trying to hide it? No,
I think it's the just a regular. Yeah. Still catches it though for good measure.
Yeah, and does get a little bit of extra percent for it. Both of them kind of just looking for an opener. Get a dash attack, which we don't see that often. Again, I really, stylistically, you see so few dash attacks from Bbatts in this matchup, which I think is kind of interesting. That's often like if you are a Puff player and you're looking to kind of chump check the opponent, I guess. Like one of the ways to do that is to rest a shield their dash attacks, but we know that Bbatts is comfortable with that sort of line of play, doesn't go for it, and it's, you know, it's a good idea.
Yeah, and for as much as we're talking about how aggressive the two of these people are kind of playing this matchup, we're almost on pace for a timeout.
Actually, that is completely true. I hadn't even noticed, because it feels like they're
just running at each other. Yeah.
They're not camping each other, right? Like they're trying to play safe. They're not trying to force it, but they are both looking for openings. Dawson doing it in a more defensive way now. He's, you know, going with these back airs, but you can tell there's part of him that like really wants to hit Bbatts. It's not about like, I want to punish you coming in. It's like, no, I just still want to hit you. So no, timeout is absolutely on the table. Although if he takes the stock, you know, I wonder if he'll play that strategy, a player that likes aggression, if he'll kind of go that route.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes on the clock. It's not completely out of the question here. But, you know, it looks like they want to end it the honorable way.
Yeah, I mean, he is just... This is just such a tempo change from what we were seeing before. And frankly, I think it is how you play the matchup, which, you know, if we were to count, again, it's all about the move choice. If we were to count the number of back airs we've seen in the last, you know, game versus the number of back airs we saw in game one, I am sure it would be like double, you know, the amount of back airs, because that's just what Peach struggles to deal with, you know, getting just barely outspaced so that she can't kind of really pressure Puff's range, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. And now we're in a situation where these two players are almost racing at the clock to end the game before the timer runs out.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Minute 30 left.
It's not something they're playing to, but in that last minute, it starts to become a thing. And I feel like Dawson is starting to shift gears here and move into that timeout mode. You know, we're seeing like, well, does still drift in there again, like does want to get the hits, which is, you know, a Hungry Box here would already be slowing it down, really taking his time.
extends it by just a little bit, but you know, traded aerials, that makes it super hard. And it's not, you know, once we get down to kind of like 30-20 seconds, a percent deficit like this is very hard for Peach to make a comeback with. We've seen Bbatts time and time again throughout these 2 sets have these insane openings, but is he gonna have time to get one?
And with this edge guard, this could be everything. Yeah, and it is.
Wow.
Not a timeout. Dawson gets the back air. The adaptation works once again. But now it's about, will Dawson commit to this strategy? Because I do wonder, like, throughout this, even with the timeout, like, Dawson just does not want to seem to play this way. And,
yeah,
you know, I relate to this. When I used to play Puff, this was kind of my problem, is I'd feel like, oh, okay, well, I can win if I just do, like, a bunch of back airs. But I kind of want to, like, be doing the Fire Puff 12, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, so... And where do we go stage wise as well?
Yeah, I mean, we already saw. So we saw the win on Yoshi's. I mean, like FD feels kind of weird. I don't think either of them would particularly want to be there, but here we are. So, you know, just ignore me entirely. You know, FD is weird because there's no platforms either. So I don't think the prospect of a timeout is as much on the table here.
The DI just enough to make Dawson doubt his reaction time and doesn't get the rest. But you're totally right. Lack of platform is going to affect both players. I kind of get it, like, you know, these kind of aggressive aerial into aerial approaches that we see from Bbatts probably works against a no platform setup. But at the same time, like, can't get some of the angles that were making it particularly tricky, where you do like a wave land off of a platform into forward air. So I don't know. Not looking so great so far.
Yeah, Bbatts a little ambiguous on if he was going to item catch there or go for an aerial. And manages to get the trade and also forward air for some extra credit. One more probably close to doing it at this point, but Dawson can say the exact same thing with just a random aerial at this point.
Yeah, does manage to close out that stock, though. Has a lead, which, you know, looking good if you're a Bbatts fan and if you don't want to have Walt curse you for life. But at the same time, you know, all he needs is an up air, or like, you know, drill is still on the table. It is now no longer on the table, I'm pretty sure. It will not lead to that little tumble. But the up air, he gets anyway, and 22% is barely a lead. A weird up smash.
A little bit, yeah. I mean, all things considered, again, one stock taken away from each player. Relatively close to pace for a timeout. Again, you know, I think the lack of a top platform on this stage really kind of limits your camping options, but these two players have shown time and time again they're not interested in that whatsoever.
This turnip pressure has been really solid. Yeah, I don't really feel like we're going to see timeouts. It's like you're saying, like, they just don't seem to want to play that style. I think at a weekly in particular, you know, there isn't thousands of dollars on the line. So there's the pride factor becomes bigger, and both of their play styles just, to me, don't fit that. So, but, you know, Dawson's still committing to this back air controlling space style. Perfectly happy to push into the controller to the corner and give up a bit of stage positioning, as long as he can kind of maintain the space that he needs to make Peach feel like she has to approach.
Yeah, one more hit again. Bbatts just cannot find his opening. Where's the first one? Nothing just yet. Just gets the time to pull the turnip, and we're just kind of chilling in neutral right now.
Yeah, unconventional up tilt that we see there, and he does go for another dash attack. I can kind of see why you wouldn't at this percent, because you aren't really going to get much off of it, but I guess, you know, making sure that they stay honest, for lack of a better word, and respect that as an option. As you get to the corner,
there's
though,
a stitch in this trade.
Close it out. Wow. Imagine if that was last stock. Like, can you imagine if that was last stock? They both probably chuckling, you know, at their desks there.
Yeah. Holy moly. Damn. Yeah, what an interesting turn of events right here. You know, only amounts to 2 stocks being taken away from the situation, and we still got 2 to go for each player.
Yeah, and, you know, again, the timeout just, it's even though we both don't think it's going to happen, it is in the picture, you know? Like, we're at
looming, yeah.
They have taken, you know, oh my god, I cannot believe he even got a hit with that. These up smashes have been so funny. But yeah, it's very possible. Tournament winner doesn't even get punished, gets a neutral air out of it. Wow.
You know, I was hung up a little bit on something because you mentioned looking for a dash attack at high percents, and I don't exactly know what the inputs are required for. What?
Curse continues!
Why? Collusion!
Oh my god, that is really big. Might not be if he's able to close this out. How does he get down? Yeah, he doesn't push the winning as much as he'd like to. But, you know, looking for the up airs.
Was that a stitch? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because of the video feed, but I think that should do it. So 21%, still anyone's game. Timeout seeming like it's not going to be an issue anymore. Gotta have him in the corner. Dash attack's at 8% too. Pretty easy thing to CC there, but he wasn't ready for it. And you know, if you catch him in the air, you can get the percent advantage and not have to worry about crouch cancel. The back air. This is so close.
Wow, yeah. Now it's kind of Bbatts the one calling out all of Dawson's aerial approaches.
So one of the things I think can happen when you play this really like keep away, come to me style is not only is it slow, requires patience, it requires discipline. You have to commit to this playstyle, commit to this game plan. Say, I am not the one that approaches. I am the one that just puts enough pressure on.
I am the one who knocks.
Exactly. Like I do this thing, you do that thing, and if you don't stay committed to it, it can backfire. You know, you all of a sudden lose the big because like it's such an attrition battle. It's such a slow kind of any advantage that you can get, and you know, it sort of backfired a bit there, but he still does have the advantage.
Needs to land, gets caught pulling turn up too. This is such a scary position right now for both players because hyperfloat up air definitely kills now. Yeah,
this is so big. This is so close to. This is Bbatts' tournament life, if I recall correctly. Yeah, right. So
yes, it is.
This is so close.
Yeah, and Bbatts just looking for the aerial trade right here because he knows it's gonna kill.
There is a huge, huge kill option right there at this position.
Double jumps.
Oh, does he still have float? He does.
Yeah.
Uses it there though. Air dodges. Oh my god!
Why'd you down smash? He could have done subfloat nair or up air, and I think that kills.
Yeah, he just was not ready for it. Does manage to get the down smash at least to knock him away, and this is still anyone's game looking for those up airs. This is so close. I want Bbatts to find a way. I want to get it game 5. I want to believe that this matchup is closer than we think it is. And
60-40 perhaps?
Yeah.
Oh, he's still living. He's still living. Gets out with the air dodge, but that grab's gonna do it.
Oh no! No way! No way! Perfect DI to live. I'll do it. No, I don't know anything. I literally do not know anything. Look at this. I cannot believe he's still alive, and he gets the nair. Oh my gosh! And now we're back to neutral, and like
the background of FD is just a pixely mess on my screen radar. I don't understand what's happening.
He does not want to give up center stage, and yes, you are out. Like we're looking through the pixels and trying to see who will become the winner here. You just
Game 5. Let's go! Oh my god!
I can't believe he was having those forward throws. Like that was amazing. I thought for sure he was dead there. Like I don't know. I feel like I've been Pup in that situation and have like just been like goodbye, but. Damn.
Oh my god. So what's interesting about that too is he probably could have guaranteed the kill, and I'm gonna pull up I need data now to see when that kills. If by virtue of just pummeling 3 times per grab, I think he was only pummeling once and then letting it rip. That that he missed out on like 12% or something like that off of pummels alone. And then that, destills his other moves, like all that technical mumbo jumbo. There's a world where he could have found that kill with grab, I'm pretty sure. And now he has to face down a game 5.
We're back on FD too. But that was Bbatts' counter pick, so now we're going back.
Yeah.
Is this like a F this, I wanna, run back? Because that's how I'm reading this. Like, I feel like
I don't know. And maybe it's kind of like I don't think Dawson played any of that particularly poorly. There weren't any really huge mistakes. And maybe when you talk about that like micro interaction at the very end where he maybe could have found the stock, that's basically it. The two of these guys have been playing things pretty solidly overall.
There was one moment though that sticks out to me, and it was that kind of half SD at like 80% from Bbatts, someone who's been living to like 140 in a lot of games. And you know, in this game, like that game was close because he died earlier than expected. How does this work? And he doesn't die. You know, is it going to be a big advantage? And is Dawson able to commit to this very boring game plan? Like, you know, he doesn't seem like the player who kind of likes playing this way. This is going to be a stock, I think.
No, not yet. He needs, just a few more after that to find the kill.
Or something.
I think you needed to grab there. If, but that's if you like are 100% certain it's not going to kill. So it's definitely close.
Yeah. So goes for the turnip pull rather than trying to pressure the landing. Gets a back air. Not going to do it though. Kind of a bit of a Dragon Ball Z moment. Both of them pushing away and isn't able to connect.
Scrapping.
Yeah.
It's just again like the name of the game, Radar, and we said it before the set even started. The two of these guys are just scrappy players on not scrappy characters for this matchup.
Yeah, you know, that's the funny thing about Puff, and this is why I switched off of her, is like she is fun to play in a scrappy way, and you know, she kind of came up with Mango playing her in a scrappy way, but I don't think, optimally speaking, that's the way to play her. You know, I think maybe I'm wrong, but it just seems like, especially in this matchup, like trying to kind of force these sort of scramble situations, trying to get on top of Peach with nairs and up airs and stuff. Sure, at low percent it can work, but the back air is so much more difficult to deal with if you're the Peach player. And it's what's kept Dawson in this set, to be honest.
I think the other thing that's been keeping him in this set is just, and something we actually didn't see much of in Game 4 was Dawson kind of finding these miraculous rests, you know? He had the Game 2 where he just completely washed up Bbatts with 2 rests right out the gate. I feel like when you're this far into this kind of a grindy matchup, if you're Bbatts and you get rested here, the mental is destroyed.
Yeah, you couldn't be more right. Like the feeling of just, oh my god, it's taking me so much to get 20%, and I just lost a full stock at 10. Like it sets up everything. But just as we say that, Bbatts getting a clean lead, 72% is something he can live off of. It's also well beyond rest percent. There is no rest setup that's on the table if you are a Puff player here. So you are purely going for kind of just chip damage into maybe a drill kill setup or something similar. And already
this is big
44.
damage. I said this earlier, you know, you get 30%, you get like a nair into down smash, and you're like, yeah, I just won this whole stock, you know? Bbatts finds that plus the up air hit at the very end just to put the cherry on top. You know, I wouldn't even be that disappointed that I'm losing my stock right now, knowing that I won neutral 1.5 times and got almost 60% for it.
He died there at 124, by the way, so, you know, does seem
close.
Like...
Yeah,
yeah, that it was really, really close before. Yeah, you know, it's been the kind of story of the set is just Dawson is a certain kind of player. Like he's a more aggressive player. He's a player that doesn't want to play super defensively, wants to force openings much like Bbatts does. And, you know, one thing I keep thinking is, what would this game look like if it wasn't on FD? If there wasn't a bit of that kind of salty run back? Like, I don't think it's doing him any favors. But, you know, that's the kind of personality of the player that can
an interesting counter pick, too. It really does simplify a lot on the Peach's end, too, because the Peach can look for, like, really kind of watered-down float approaches now. Like, you know, we've seen 2 stocks already so far just straight calling out Dawson's drift towards stage with an up air to kill at, like, 100-something%. If the platforms are there, maybe things get mixed up a little bit more. If we have a differently sized stage, you know, maybe the set's over at that point, but...
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And like this doesn't look close. We've talked a lot about how like a stock lead is huge. Like this is the kind of position where the only factor that really does matter, and it matters a lot, is that rest exists. You know, if you're Dawson, you think I can just close out the stock, then maybe I can get a rest and win. And maybe I go for a nair rest. Maybe I go for something super YOLO and just try to get it back. Oh, rollout. Oh.
Okay. Yeah, we're at danger percent though now. Up air just is guaranteed over for this.
Yeah, I think even like a solid back air hit, forward air, that kind of thing, that it can do it.
It's not completely out of the books though.
It is still on
Still
the
have a
table.
chapter to go.
Yeah, this.
I would
throw it away.
I would throw
Get
it
it out of there. Just get it completely out of there. Just don't even play with that, man. That is how you throw. Peach is such a fun character with the existence.
I'm glad that we were exact same page, even though neither of us play Peach. Just like, no way am I even dealing with this today.
So the percent that he just got is huge. Now we have
Up tilt.
nair rest on the table. Now
Okay.
we have up tilt rest on the table. It doesn't look like it's a big deal, but it can be. And oh my god, shield pokes. That's it. That's it. I cannot, of all ways to win, just a down smash where he just holds onto the shield. I'm going to look back at it and was he able to just angle his shield a little tighter? This is the nice part about being able to look to the stream and get that delay, but holy crap.
He was this close to breaking shield. The shield stat was going to come first, of course, but oh my gosh.